We are just 1 week away from Mommy coming out. That's right, I am labeling her Mommy as it is, and we are talking about, obviously, Kafka. Now, if you just couldn't tell, I'm a fan. I'm a very big fan, and I've talked about this a little bit on my streams before, but I am a big fan of voices. It's why I love to voice act. And let's just say the voice acting for Kafka is spot on, and it makes me very, very happy. I'm gonna stop fanboying now. But I will say that Kafka has been one that I've been very, very interested in, even since closed beta 1 when I was a part of it, because I did get Kafka during closed beta 1, and I was shocked that we weren't gonna get her right away. But the wait is over, and we are only, as of this recording, a week away from Kafka coming out. So today we're gonna be talking about how to build her, what you need to farm, and kind of what I think might happen with her when it comes to light codes and relics. But before we get into that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Honkai Star Rail video comes out. Again, this is sponsored by Gamer Subs. Use code TYSTRA for 10% off of your next purchase. Follow the link down in the description. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Here she is, Kafka. Yes, I did that a little bit early during the Stinger transition. I know I did, I don't care. Let's go ahead and talk about Kafka here. Kafka is part of the Nihility Path, which applies debuffs to enemies and reduces their combat capacities. Now, debuffers have been going really, really strong as of late. We did get, Silver Wolf as a quantum nihility, and we are also getting a physical nihility member in Luca, which we'll be talking about tomorrow. Now, she is also of the lightning element, which is pretty dope. I actually like the lightning element a lot. A lot, because I love using Jingyuan and I love using Jingyuan. So now I have, Kafka to look forward to. So let's go ahead and talk about essential materials first. First things first, let's talk about the main big bad boy thing you're gonna need, the Shapeshifter's Lightning Staff, which you get from the corrosive event, or the latest one that just came out of the new corrosive boss battles, or not really boss battles, but they basically are boss battles. You're gonna need a grand total of 65 of these. If you are at, I believe, 50 or above, I could be wrong on this, so please don't hold me to the stake, but the highest difficulty, you could get 5 per run, which means that you are doing a grand total of what is it? 5, 10, 50, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 60. I'm very dumb, but you're gonna be doing it about 13 times. So that's not too bad, especially at 30, the Trailblazer power, that's not really all that bad. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Thief's Instinct, the Usurper's Scheme, and of course the Conqueror's Will. Now these are things that you're gonna get as enemy drops / stuff that you get to synchronize. Now I highly recommend that you get as much of these as you possibly can, or if you're like me and have been saving them, you're in for a real treat right here. The Ascension, you're only gonna need 5 of these Thieves' Instincts, you're gonna need 15 of these Usurper Schemes, and 15 of the Conqueror's Wills. Now, you need 3 of the greens to make the blue, you need 3 blues to make the purple, and you need 3 purples just to help level up your Kafka. That's really it. And then of course you're gonna need, obviously, your credits. You're gonna need 300k just for that. Now let's go ahead and talk about traces here. Traces is a little bit different, and I will say the amount of credits you're gonna need in total is not as bad as Genshin's, but at the same time, you're still gonna need a lot. To level up all your traces fully, you're gonna need 3 million credits right here, and we're gonna talk about these Thief's Instincts, Usurpers, and Conquerors. So you're gonna need 41 of these Thief's Instincts, so that's gonna be 46 in total of those. When it comes to these Usurper Schemes, you're gonna need a grand total of 71. And then of course, for the Conqueror's Wills, I'm gonna try and do quick math right here, 68. You're gonna need 73 of these Conqueror's Wills. And again, you get these from just, fighting enemies out there, fight them, and get them done. Now, for the certain things that you need the Calyxes from, these are what you're gonna need. The Obsidians of Dread, and then you're also going to need the Obsidians of Desolation, followed by the Obsidian of Obsession. You're gonna need 18 of these Obsidians of Dread, you're gonna need 69, giggity, of the Desolation, and of course 139 of Obsession. Now, the biggest thing, of course, is that 3 of these make This and 3 of these desolations make the obsessions. Now, these are going to be tough to grind, though I will say, at least with the calxes, it's 10 of your Trailblaze power every single time, so that's not too bad. You can do it 18 times a day, and honestly, you can auto through those. It's not that deep, y'all. Just get it done. It's a tough grind for sure, but honestly, as time goes on, it's going to get a lot better. Now, let's go ahead and talk about these new items that just came out, the Regrets of Infinite Ochema. Now, these come from the new boss fight, Fantalia. You have to beat Fantalia, the new boss fight that came out in version 1.2. So you're gonna need a grand total of 12 of these. And I believe you get 2 to 3 of these every single time. So 3 times a week, you could get up to 9. And that's really, really good because you're gonna need more than a week to make your Kafka from level 1 to level 90 and all traces leveled up, especially if you're gonna be like me and you're gonna level up all the traces put together. You're gonna need it. And then of course, you're gonna need 8 of these tracks of destiny. You can barely see it off screen, but you kind of get the gist of it. You're gonna need 8 of these. And I'm so glad that they're so givey of these. I'll tell you that right now. Now let's go ahead and talk about Kafka's abilities really quick before we move on. We're gonna talk about the skill first because, you know, every normal attack is the same. Now let's talk about the skill. Energy regeneration is 30 for the Caressing Moonlight skill, Blast. Weakness break of a single target to 60 and Blast is 30. Deals lightning damage equal to 200% of Kafka's attack to a target enemy and lightning damage equal to 75% of Kafka's attack to enemies adjacent to it. If the target enemy is currently receiving DOT, all DOTs currently placed on that enemy immediately produce damage equal to 82.5% of the original damage. She's gonna be the DOT girl that you're gonna need, especially with what she's able to do with this. It's pretty freaking fantastic. Let's go ahead and talk about Twilight Trill, the ultimate, which is an AoE, and it does hit multiple enemies. Energy regeneration is 5, weakness break, AoE of 60, deals lightning damage equal to 90% or 96% of Kafka's attack to all enemies, with 100% base chance of enemies hit to become shocked and immediately take damage from their current shock state, equal to 110% of its original damage. Shock lasts for 2 turns. While shocked, enemies receive lightning DOT equal to 360.69% of Kafka's attack at the beginning of each turn. Now, what's really cool about this is that you do get the Torture trace, which when the ultimate is used, enemy targets will now receive damage immediately from all current applied DOT sources instead of just receiving damage immediately from the current applied shock state. So more damage. Amazing. Let's go ahead and talk about now the talent, Gentle but Cruel. Energy regeneration 10 and weakness break single target 30. After an ally of Kafka's uses base attack on an enemy target, Kafka immediately launches 1 follow-up attack that deals lightning damage equal to 189% of her attack to the target, with a 100% base chance to inflict shock equivalent to the applied by her ultimate to the attacked enemy target for 2 turns. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per turn. And then of course, if you look at the bonus traces for this one, Plunder, if the enemy is defeated while shocked, Kafka additionally regenerates 5 more energy, and Thorns, the base chance for ultimate technique or the follow-up attack triggered by the talent to inflict shock increases by 30%. This is big. Now let's go ahead and talk about her technique here. Mercy is not forgiveness. Energy regeneration 0 with a weakness break of 60 to a single target. Immediately attacks all enemies within a set range. After entering battle, deals lightning damage equal to 50% of Kafka's attack to all enemies with 100% base chance to inflict shock equivalent to the applied by the ultimate of every enemy target for 2 turns. Which means that you're still going to be applying shock even with her E that you're going to be using. So that's pretty freaking dope, right? Let's go ahead and talk about her Eidolons really quick. Eidolon 1, Da Capo. When the target triggers or talent triggers a follow-up attack, there is a 100% base chance to increase the DOT received by the target by 30% for 2 turns. Fortissimo, which is while Kafka is on the field, DOT dealt by all allies increases by 25%, so it's a boost to all your team. Capriccio, skill, which is basically your skill level ups. That's also going to be the same for the number of, or Eidolon 5, Doloroso. Recitativo, When an enemy target takes damage from the shock status inflicted by Kafka, Kafka additionally regenerates 2 energy. And that's going to be your Eidolon 4. And your Eidolon 6 if you are a complete and utter whale, Legario. The shock inflicted on the enemy target by the ultimate, the technique, or the talent triggered follow-up attack has a damage multiplier increase by 156% and lasts 1 turn longer. Kafka is pretty crazy, especially when it comes to inflicting shock, but ultimately, let's talk about what you're gonna need to build her, or at least in my opinion, what will really work out. Special shout out to Stefan. I do pay attention to his guides a lot, and I happen to agree with a lot of his takes, especially if you're just base building your Kafka, or really any unit for that matter. So of course, her best light cone is gonna be her O, which is patience is all you need. Increases damage dealt by the wearer by 24% after every attack launched by wearer. Their speed increases by 4.8%, stacking up to 3 times. If the wearer hits an enemy target that is not afflicted by a road, there is a 100% base chance to afflict a road to the target, which is another DOT. Enemies afflicted with a road are also considered to be shocked and will receive lightning DOT at the start of the turn, equal to 60% of the wearer's attack, lasting for 1 turn. So you're going to want to make sure that you bump up her attack when it comes to all that, so make sure you keep an eye on that. Now, there's another 5-star light cone right here called In the Name of the World. Increases the wearer's damage to debuffed enemies by 24%. When the wearer uses their skill, the effect hit rate for this attack increases by 18% and the attack increases by 24%, which ultimately helps you out with your damage over time, so that works out pretty well. Let's talk about the first of the 4 stars we're going to be talking about, which is Eyes of the Prey. Increases the wearer's effect hit rate by 20% and increases DOT by 24%. Again, because Kafka's running that DOT with shock, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're hitting as hard as you can with that shock. So it's no shock that you want to make sure that you get that. So I know, don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. And then of course, let's talk about Good Night and Sleep Well. For every debuff to the target enemy has, the damage dealt to the by the wearer increases by 12%, stacking up to 3 times. This effect only applies to damage over time. This one I wouldn't recommend over the other ones, but it could work out, especially if it's the only one you have. So would definitely say that it's worth checking out. Now let's go ahead and talk about our relics. Now relics are very important, and I'm getting to the point where I need to start farming relics. So this relic set, Band of Sizzling Thunder, is my top choice as a 4-piece set. Now, the reason being, increases lightning damage by 10% on the 2-piece, and when the wearer uses their skill, increases the wearer's attack by 20% for 1 turn. Why is that important? Because again, your skill is going to be applying that shock. Your shock is going to be determined by your is going to be your DOT, and your DOT is basically going to be a part of your attack percentage. It's a win-win, it's full circle. You could also run a 4-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat. 2-pieces attack increases by 12%, and the 4-piece, the wearer's speed increases by 6%, and basic attack damage increases by 10%. Again, it's going to buff up your DOT. That's what you want. Now, you can run a combination of 2-piece between these two, but I would say keep it 4-piece because honestly, I think the 4-piece of this is more worth your time. Now, you're probably wondering what other relics could we use? Well, we could use the Space Sealing Station 2-piece that you get as your number 5 and number 6. Increases the wearer's attack by 12%. When the wearer's speed reaches 120 or higher, the wearer's attack increases by an extra 12%. Which brings me to how you're going to build your Kafka, because I think this is the only set that would work really well. So you want to focus on attack percentage, speed, energy recharge basically, and of course, break effect rate. Now, those are going to be the 4 that you really want to focus on, with it being in order: attack, speed, your energy, and then your break. Now, if you can't do that, obviously your main 2, attack percentage and speed. The reason being is because Kafka is going to need that oh so much because of the fact of what she's able to do. Now, I cannot wait for Kafka, and I'm definitely summoning on her. I got about 8,600 of my Stellar Jades ready to go, and I want to know in the comments, are you guys ready for Kafka? Let me know. Definitely want to hear you guys' opinions on that, and I am so excited for her. I need mommy ASAP Rocky, and I'm pretty sure you all do too. Now, of course, y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment. Would love to communicate with y'all. Guys, I'm so stoked. I cannot wait to see how good Kafka is actually going to be. So join me when the time comes, and, you know, I hope y'all pull your mommy. Anyways, love you all to death, and as always, we will catch you all in the next video. Please take care and be safe.